How do you do, folks? I'm Thorne Inside, here with Mr. Finer Print to take a look at a less than 3-minute long pitch for a video called Believe Her, created by a group of feminists.
Well, I've been hearing a lot from feminists about listen and believe. Anita Sarkeesian has said so many times, if a woman tells you she was raped, believe her. Ignore facts, ignore reality, because no woman in history has ever lied.
Let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah, this gem just decided to drop the listen part of listen and believe and simply implores you to believe, using visual aids, because attention span nowadays is shorter than that of a goldfish.
These are pretty stock standard harassing type questions I hear again and again from a great many feminist listen and believe types. You could almost write a bingo card at this point with them. We aren't even 10 seconds in. I kind of sound like a cunt, but there's a point to this, I promise.
Ah, yes. Typical feminist video production standards. Somber music? Check. Creepy imagery designed to evoke emotions? Yep. Captions, which asks really annoying questions designed to be condescending? Check, check, and check.
Many rape victims suffer a secondary trauma when they try to report their assault. Believe Her is a 10-minute film that addresses this issue head-on. The script is built from stories from real survivors, and it follows a scenario of date rape. Monica is undeniably raped, but we will see how, within minutes, seeds of doubt are planted in the eyes of the cops, her family, even her best friend.
Well, Monica's family sounds like assholes, and she has terrible taste in friends if she was absolutely raped. Your family and friends are supposed to be your support system, whether or not you're telling the truth. Anyway, in the case of the cops, it's kind of their job to ask questions, both to determine if a crime has actually been committed, and to get information while a victim's memory is still fresh. It wouldn't be untoward for them to ask a battery or robbery victim if they were possibly a little inebriated at the time of the crime. Simply put, alcohol can change your perception of events.
Oh, nonsense, Thorne. What woman in her right mind will ever lie about being raped? What woman in her right mind would make a career out of her alleged rape, take it to newspapers, magazines, broadcast media, and then elevated her victim status to score work as an artist? I mean, who could possibly do that?
And how that judgment leads her to decide not to file a report.
Calling the police is never an easy thing, nor is making a police report, or anything involved really in the legal system. But you gotta interrogate the victim a little bit in the course of greater justice.
That's where all the compassion comes from, to just sit back and believe a victim.
Actually, that sounds exactly how things should be. The investigation of a crime should be as detached and impartial as possible in the furtherance of justice. Sounds like a perfect angle to come from, but something tells me you're not actually going to be impartial on this subject with the title like Believe Her. Just a hunch. And
that was what was so exciting about the script and what makes the script so necessary.
Yeah, I called it, didn't I? The perp is always guilty, and people never lie about rape. Yeah, I said people, because men are raped too. This script is necessary to push the narrative that women never lie about rape, and we should just take them at their word and believe her.
Believe her.
Believe her! The more I say it, the more it sounds like propaganda.
Believe Her has been about a year in the making. I was planning on making a comedy, and then the Brock Turner ruling happened, and like so many others, I was infuriated. And I realized that I needed to make a film that I cared about, and that said something.
Everyone I know was pissed about the Brock Turner case. That guy belongs in jail. But just like everyone else, he deserves a fair trial and due process. If anything, it was the fault of the judge for sentencing him so lightly, and that's a totally different issue. Just like that affluenza shithead. Blame the judge, not society. Also, as a side note, light sentencing aside, Turner was found guilty. That means enough people looked at the evidence and decided it was enough to prove him guilty in a court of law.
Also, wasn't Brock Turner actually found guilty of aggravated sexual assault and not rape? I mean, fair's fair. The guy's forever a sex offender from now on. And that's not something you can just get rid of.
So what a lot of my friends and a lot of my family don't know is that I'm a victim of statutory rape. And I decided not to prosecute.
That's a tragedy. It really is. I'm gonna stop being a catty bitch for a second. The fact that people don't come forward to report crimes, any crime, is horrible. No, really, that's all I have to say on that. Play the video, I'm fucking done.
Hopefully, if we can push this film out, if there's other discussion about these topics, that people and victims will find their own peace and find their own resolutions and realize that they don't have to simply live a life of secrecy.
Well, that might work better if you didn't put out there that if you go to the police, they're gonna grill you like a fish for no good reason. Or that your friends won't believe you. Or that your family won't believe you. Just a suggestion.
If your own family won't believe you, I would argue that your trust issues with your parents and siblings are far deeper than you imagine. Maybe there's a reason for it, maybe there isn't. But instead of lionizing rape victims, help them get help. Start programs, but do it across the board. Not only women can get raped, and male rape victims are largely ignored. Prison rapes are nearly non-existent in the public debate. So just do it fairly, equally. You know, like feminists are supposed to do.
We cannot change minds. We cannot change policy until we change hearts.
Feels over reals.
Don't be silly, Thorne. Movie actors and directors change the world. Just look at Jennifer Lawrence.
So by presenting one story, which is all a film can ever do, with so much detail, hopefully we can create a universality that a lot of people will be able to relate to.
A universality? Wait, you want people to relate what you describe in this movie, which is literally the worst possible scenario from what I've seen so far, in hopes to encourage more women, just women, to come forward. If anything, this is gonna scare more women into silence.
We have a stellar all-female crew.
Diversity of one, really, since according to your own pledge page, quote, our entire crew's female and diversity is a priority as we fill out our cast. Let's read that again. Our entire crew is female and diversity is a priority as we fill out our cast. This film will do more than represent women. It is made by and for women and those who respect them. Doesn't sound very diverse to me. Probably the only man there would be a rapist actor.
Please join us with a pledge and help us get Believe Her into production.
You know, I checked your website, and it is filled with some terrible misinformation, but I'll only focus on the following, and I'll also include links in the description. Why can't we just believe her? 1 in 6 American women are raped in their lifetime. This has been categorically proven to be a false narrative, and you're repeating it as if it's a feminist mantra. 2 out of 3 rapes go unreported. This very much depends on how you present those numbers. 2 to 10% of rapes are falsely reported, and yet the common narrative claims that women lie. Well, at least you admit there are false rape allegations, but then wouldn't that contravene your previous statement of 2 out of 3 at least somewhat? At least skew the result? What am I saying? Believe her!
You misspelled feminist.
Anyways, this is all we have for you folks. What do you think? Do you think that we should just blindly believe what people are telling us without any backing up of facts? Do you think we should all report to the police immediately following sex to report rape because of feels? Do you think this was a good collab? Leave your comments below. And thank you, Thorne, for this very interesting collaboration. I'm the Finer Print.
And I'm Thorne Inside. Thanks so much, Finer Print, for having me. And be sure to check out the rest of Finer Print stuff as well as some of mine.
Be sure to check out Thorne's channel. She has some really great content and she does a lot of really interesting live streams.
Thanks. See you later.
Peace.